What's up guys, Blade Master here. Welcome to yet another Total War Warhammer online battle. This one is going to be the Warriors of Chaos fought against the Dwarves, and I'm going to be fighting up against Houseplant. Now, you might wonder why I haven't posted any games with Houseplant as of yet. I've played a lot of games versus Houseplant. I've casted a lot of the games versus him. That's mainly because he's been whooping my ass so bad in the games that it's not even fun. I'm talking like crushing defeats. I'm talking like close defeats that weren't even close, those sorts of slaughters. But he's taken the Dwarves, and maybe this would be just the upper hand that I need with the buffed Warriors of Chaos to sort of maybe at least make a close match. And as you can see, the Dwarves have new shields. There's a mod that I'm using that makes the Dwarves' shields look a lot better. I'll put a link to the mod. I'm not really sure what the name of the mod is, but as you can see, Houseplant has brought a lot of organ guns. Organ guns have been buffed slightly in the Blade Balance mod. They've been given higher AP damage, so definitely a very potent unit. I haven't finished buffing the Dwarves yet. I think they need a few more balance changes in order to make them proper viable. But let's see how this goes in any case. The Warriors of Chaos, of course, are a great, decent faction actually. No, not great faction, but they definitely have the tools to beat the Dwarves, I think. The cavalry usage would be very essential, as well as monster/chariot usage to cleave through all of the infantry that the Dwarf possess. As for Houseplant, his method of winning would be to utilize these organ guns to their fullest potential. And as you can see, they're just destroying my Chaos Marauders. I've brought Chaos Marauders with dogs and a couple of Chaos Warriors behind them in my middle front, main line, I guess, and some Forsaken with Chaos Marauders, Chaos Warriors on my right flank, along with the Marauder Horsemen position onto Houseplant's left, and onto Houseplant's right, and onto Houseplant's left is my Chaos Sorcerer, who's a Death Sorcerer, and a Solitary Dogs unit along with the Marauder Horsemen. The Forsaken and the Chaos Warriors are kept all the way at the back. I don't know why I'm not utilizing them yet. The organ guns, though, piling on the damage, and this would be a good time to showcase to you guys the More Gore mod, which is another mod that I'm using, utilizing my new GTX 1070 to its fullest potential, putting in as much gore as possible. And now you can see the Piercing Bolts of Burning, the newly buffed Piercing Bolts of Burning, just destroying the organ guns and proving even too hard for even my GTX 1070 to handle. It destroys two of the guns, two of them still remain, but another organ gun completely is fine. Now he's going to move up his Dwarf Warriors and I'm going to use Gehenna's Golden Hounds with my Chaos Sorcerer of Metal, and I'm then going to pounce in with my Chaos Marauders on the middle, or in the middle, against his Dwarf Warriors. And these are the ones with great weapons, so they should have no problem destroying my Chaos Marauders with 0 AP damage, basically. I don't know what AP damage the regular base unit has. But Chaos Warriors are going to help support them, so they should be able to turn the tide in my favor. But unless his Runesmith has dropped anything, I don't think he's brought a Runesmith. Maybe he's brought a Runesmith, but he's definitely brought a Master Engineer. As you can see, my Warhounds are going to try and tear through his Thunders. He's brought a lot of them. He's not brought any Quarrelers as of yet. His Engineers kept safe and sound with his Thunders. He's not afraid to use his Thunders in melee combat. A few of them lost would be okay, but he needs to protect these organ guns. We've already gotten 56 kills against a lot of really good units, and they're pouring in the HP damage onto my Chaos Sorcerer, who's going to be very crucial if I want to win this battle. He is the Death Sorcerer, if I recall. No, he's Fire, and I've got Metal. I didn't bring Death because I wanted to use as many of the artillery-esque spells that the Lord of Fire has. Anyways, here my Gore Beast Chariot is going to cleave through these Dwarf Warriors on my left flank, and they're going to help out the Forsaken a whole lot. The Forsaken are losing a lot of men to the Dwarf Warriors, I guess helped by the Thunders, but the Gore Beast Chariot should definitely help even things out. The Chaos Marauders and Chaos Warriors losing out, especially because the Lord is helping here, the Dwarf Lord. This is not Ungrim, this is just a regular Dwarf Lord. My Chaos Sorcerer, who's also super generic, attacking a solitary Dwarf Warrior that's kind of isolated, and now I'm going to bring in a Chaos Warrior to just try and pile in the units while his Dwarf Warriors with great weapons start to die out eventually. the Gore Beast Child is now pouring into the organ gun, and that's not very good for Houseplant at all. But the Gore Beast Child is now going to get surrounded by a whole lot of units. Meanwhile, piercing bolts of burning dropping into the great Dwarf Warriors with great weapons. So again, that's another thing that should even the odds. The Marauders came back from routing, and they should kill off this the middle front posed by the Dwarfs. While my right flank is basically mine, the Chaos Sorcerer should be able to move in and start hitting the Dwarf Warriors. But I'm a bit afraid to use him so soon, especially when there are Thunders right there. But it looks like most of them are in combat, so that's kind of a mistake done by me. And the organ guns, though, for some reason, god damn it, I thought I used the Marauder Horsemen and used them in melee. I'm going to use them now, and then I'm going to also bring the Chaos Sorcerer, and he's going to destroy an organ gun right off the bat. The Chaos Warriors again come back from routing, going to help out against the Dwarf Warriors, hit them on the flanks. On the right side, or on my left side, the Dwarf Warriors with great weapons are going to lose out to the Chaos Warriors eventually. The Forsaken, more importantly, have gotten into the Thunderers, but the Thunderers already have done quite a bit of damage, and they're not that bad in melee combat. The Chaos Sorcerer now is just hovering. I don't really know what to do with him. I should be rear charging this Dwarf Warrior, but I mean it's a full Dwarf Warriors have got decent morale. And I don't really have too many units to help support my Chaos Sorcerer if you choose to attack. So I'm going to instead kill off the Thunders, which will be a much more pesky unit. My Gore Beast Child has gotten a single experience chevron, but now it's routed because it got surrounded. The Chaos Marauders with throwing axes haven't been doing much at all in this game, but they've at least piled on to the organ gun. But the organ gun, I think one of them has already gotten an experience chevron. The other one, I think, has gotten one too. The Master Engineer is not afraid to get into combat with some of these Chaos Marauders, which honestly, I'm not really. He's got great weapon strength too, so I guess it's not too bad of an engagement. The Chaos Warriors, though, killing off the Dwarf Warriors, especially with the help of a couple of Forsaken, it looks like. Although it looks like the Forsaken are now running. Forsaken running away looked super funny from that angle. But here they just look like a couple of really bloody, really cowardly fuckers, monsters. Chaos Sorcerer steadily losing more and more HP from stray thunder fire from the distance. The organ guns are rendered basically useless, but keep in mind these two organ guns are actually undamaged, they're intact. The Chaos Warriors are going to rear charge some of these Dwarf Warriors, while some of my Chaos Warriors from the front attack the Dwarf Warriors. These are engagements that will take a long time to be decided, and meanwhile a lot of my shittier units, my Chaos Marauders and the depleted Chaos Warriors who were attacked by the organ gun from the start of the game, are running away, which means that these Dwarf Warriors will be able to countercharge the Chaos Warriors and hit them in the rear, and that's not going to bode very well for the Chaos Warriors' rather lackluster morale, I must say. Or maybe their morale just seemed that way as I was getting my ass handed by Dwarves against fucking Chaos Warriors. God damn it. Houseplant is too strong. Houseplant is OP. Chaos Warriors now hitting the Longbeards, and the Gore Beast again coming in for a final charge, getting 86 kills, and that should be the end of it for this Gore Beast, but it's done quite a bit of damage. I mean, I can't say it's been useless. I think I'm going to drop another piercing bolts of burning, yep, and that's probably going to spell the end of this Gore Beast if it doesn't manage to move out. It's going to hit a lot of my Chaos Warriors, but it should hit more of the Longbeards as well, and I need that unit to get out. Again, the high collateral damage maybe wasn't worth it. Now he's going to move very wisely, going to use his artillery crew to get back onto the organ guns, and this was a critical mistake. I shouldn't have let his organ guns artillery crew just stay there. And now they're going to get back. They've got 4 organ guns, and they're going to pile on the damage onto my Chaos Sorcerer. 2135 health left for him, and he can't really move in because there's so many units, so many dwarf units, that he's just going to get swarmed. So I'm forced to just attack this Dwarf Warrior that's alone, relatively alone. The rest of my Chaos army is in chaos basically. Most of them are routing. Some of them might come back, but they're very low in HP. The Dwarfs as well are pretty low on HP, but they have their general at full strength. This is just a regular Dwarf Lord, as I said, but it's going to be more than enough to put flight to all of my shitty units. The Chaos Warriors again haven't done much at all. in this game. But that's to be expected. I probably should have just brought the great weapons. I kind of underestimated the armor piercing value of the great weapons. I just decided that going cheaper and going more plentiful with the Chaos Warriors would have been a better idea. I think that's debatable. I might have done better if I just brought the great weapons. Now, Chaos Marauders are going to rear charge the Longbeards, and he's popping Stand Your Ground, which is going to give them a huge buff in leadership, which means that this rear charge is not going to mean much. So that was a smart move from Houseplant. My Chaos Sorcerer, in the meanwhile, has taken so much damage from these organ guns. They've been really helpful for Houseplant during the course of this battle. And of course, the Thunderers as well were a massive pain in the ass, and it's going to force me eventually to just say fuck it and charge into the organ guns and maybe destroy a couple of them. Although at this point, it's really not worth it. There's nothing much more that I can do. It looks like the Dwarfs are going to reign supreme, but very well played to Houseplant. Only my Chaos Sorcerer of Metal is going to stay alive. He is going to spin around, spin, twirl, do those amazing katana tricks that you'd see the weebs do in their mother's basement. But it's going to prove useful, but he's going to take a lot of damage in the process. Does seem to have quite a bit of health. Good, decent melee defense, but the Dwarf Warriors themselves don't have the greatest melee attack, so this is again a battle that will last a really long time. Probably should have just brought more, definitely should have brought more Chaos Knights, should have brought maybe even one more Gorebeast Chariot, because the Gorebeast Chariot is probably the best among all my regular units. The Forsaken, of course, must have done better too than my Chaos Warriors. Holy shit! Wow, that Chaos Dragon. What a way to finish off this battle. 80 kills, I think maybe 40 of them just happened right there. And that's going to be it. Valiant defeat, but very well played to Houseplant for winning with the Chaos Army, for winning with the Dwarf Army in the first place. And, keeping his Lord alive, keeping that Master Engineer alive, keeping these organ guns, and bringing back that artillery crew to man the organ guns was a very smart move. The little bit of Stand Your Ground at the end was very helpful as well, I believe, keeping these Longbeards in check. If they had routed, then it would have been much easier for my Chaos Sorcerer to just, one, hit the organ guns, and then two, go ahead and start hitting his Lord. Because even if my Chaos Sorcerer Lord was like around less than half strength, I could have just hit the Lord and then start to fly back. I killed off all of his Thunderers, so he wouldn't have really had much of a way to counter that, counter the Sorcerer Lord just charging all the time, except for the Master Engineer, which again I could have just tied down with my Chaos Sorcerer of Metal in combat. But yeah, those are all things that I should have done, woulda, coulda, shoulda, and very well played to Houseplant for winning this game. And hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more. Peace.